Hey folks, how's it going? My name's Lexi and I really like tabletop. So much so that we get together once a week, every week, and we review a different one. If this sounds interesting to you, I encourage you to press subscribe and keep watching today's video. Hopefully I can help you find your next game. I try to keep these videos on the shorter side for that reason. Today we are taking a look at a game that I purchased on the concept alone. I didn't even bother to read anything about the mechanics, I just had to have it as soon as I read about it. What made me make such a rash purchase? Well, I read that it was a game where people can have animal companions. This isn't a new concept in fiction, I just happen to be a big fan of it. So, today we're taking a look at Familiars of Terra by Angry Hamster of Publishing. This game is set in the fantasy world of Terra, where every person has their own animal companion. The world is recovering from a war that started around 50 years ago. The nation that began this war has sealed itself off from the other five, but it is still a long road to restoration and peace. The players in this game are seekers, people who go out to do heroic things to improve the world, to make the world of tomorrow better than the world of today. The world of this game feels like it has a similar technology to our world, but of course the inclusion of animal companions does make it feel a little bit alien and different. It has a bit of a Golden Compass or Digimon feel. There are 5 nations left to rebuild the world, each one of them facing their own unique particular set of challenges. There are parts of this world that are still experiencing damage from bombings, and there are parts of this world known as the Badlands where unsettled spirits wander. The book does set up a lot of potential plot hooks for you to explore. There is also a mystery surrounding that 6th aggressor nation. I won't go into details though, I don't want to spoil anything exciting from the book. I think if you are running this game, it makes the most sense to have the characters be all from the one nation, or if they're not from that nation, have a particular reason to be invested in that nation's restoration. In this game, the familiars are more powerful than their human companions. When it's time for action, it's generally the familiars who are going to be springing in to save the day. This is why, in this particular game, you not only build a character, but you also build their familiar. The world of this game and the general tone has a bit of a young adult fiction feel to it, which makes it interesting regardless of how that phrase makes you feel. This game is played using decks of cards. For your everyday obstacles, you draw a card from the top of the deck and reveal it. If the number is the same value or lower than the attribute that the Game Master asked you to test, then you succeed. The values of the cards are pretty straightforward when it comes to the number cards. The face cards are attributed numbers as well. In this game, creating a character begins with selecting a homeland, a calling, why they're adventuring, a promise, perhaps an eventual goal of that adventuring, distributing some points among your various stats, titles a character might have, trophies, and then recording a starting health and stash, equipment. You then need to create their familiar. You distribute points among their stats, give them some traits, and have a look at what size they are. The powers I've noticed have tended to be combat focused. They do provide some really unique maneuvers that the familiars can use to turn the tide of a conflict. Then you need to have a look at their health and special powers. Combat is where the card system kicks into high gear. For combat, characters tend to draw a hand of cards, and then whoever is facing off against each other will choose a card and place it face down on the table. Then the characters with the lowest agility get an opportunity here to use one of their special powers. When the 2 cards that were placed face down are revealed, the person with the higher card is the winner. There's a few opportunities in combat to activate powers or use those unique traits that belong to your familiar. Familiars of Terra is just really cool. I love the illustrations in this game manual of people with their familiars. You can feel a connection between them. And you get to see some really interesting options for all the different familiars and the different styles. I want to mention that I really love the filigree that's on the edges of the pages. I'm not sure if filigree is the correct term. In some ways, I could have really enjoyed a bit more information about Terra, but I think that's because I really enjoyed the world building and I just wanted a bit more. I really like that this game includes a little lexicon and a map of the world. You get some great tools to run this game, like random encounter tables, stat blocks, and options for custom mechanics. I also want to mention that I love that this manual provides summaries of the mechanics it's just explained throughout the entire book. It just makes it easier if you are needing to revise or you need to just make a quick review while you're playing. If you love stories of humans and animals working together, then this is absolutely going to be a game you'll enjoy. It's hard for me to think of who might not enjoy this game. I think if you really don't like the idea of using cards instead of dice, that might be a bit of a roadblock. A physical copy of Familiars of Terra can be purchased from the Angry Hamsters of Publishing website for around €30. I happened to get mine from gumnut.com in Australia. I've mentioned them before, they're not sponsors of mine at all. They just are really helpful for getting more indie or different games into Australia. There is also an option to get a $10 copy of the PDF from DriveThruRPG. And the creators even have a free quick start version of the rules if you just want to check it out to see if it whets your appetite. If you found you loved the quick start version of the rules, then I absolutely encourage you to pick up a full copy of the game. So that is Familiars of Terra. What did you think? Do you love the idea of having an animal companion? Is there a particular animal you would love to have as an animal companion? I think what would be my choice is a pretty obvious one. While you're down in the comments, I encourage you to press like, subscribe, turn on notifications. That way YouTube will tell you when I've next uploaded. If you really like, you could share this video with a friend who you think might enjoy it, or you could even visit my Ko-Fi page. It all really helps this channel get more notice in the algorithm, which really helps me out. It brings more people who love games to this channel. I also have a Ko-Fi page, which I've linked in the description, where you can donate to this channel to help keep things running. I hope you're all well, and I look forward to seeing you next time at the gaming table. Bye!